Well, you join me today in Louisville, Kentucky, where I am here with Ford to check out the 2020 Ford Escape. This is the fourth generation of their compact SUV. Quite a big deal, a lot to talk about. So let's get in right away and break down everything that I think you need to know about this car. So for the fourth generation of this car, Ford is really changing everything, and there's going to be a lot more choice available to customers going into the dealership to try and find their perfect escape. So we have three different engines: a 1.5 litre 3-cylinder turbocharged engine, a 2 litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, and then a 2.5 litre hybrid. Now, we've been able to largely test out the 1.5 and the 2 litre today. We're going to be checking out the hybrid tomorrow. Right now I'm in a 2 litre titanium with all-wheel drive. All three of those engines can come with either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Alongside these engines, we do have a new 8-speed automatic transmission for the 1.5 and the 2 litre. For the hybrid, it's getting an eCVT transmission. A plug-in hybrid version is coming for spring, but the models that you see here and what I'm testing out today should be coming into the dealerships in a month's time. The 1.5 has 180 horsepower and 190 pound-feet of torque with cylinder deactivation, and the 2 litre has 235 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. We're spending the majority of our time, like I said, in the 2 litre all-wheel drive. We have a variation of different driving modes that includes normal, eco, sport, slippery for wet or icy conditions, I suppose, and then deep, sand and snow mode. Both of these engines have automatic stop-start, and from my limited experience so far, I will say they're quite refined, and even with the air conditioning on, which we're putting on full blast right now, the automatic stop-start system will engage. Now, of course, with an all-new generation, there's new looks inside and outside. The outside isn't particularly special to me. There's nothing distinctive to my eye. You'll see in all the new Ford products, they're spelling out each product name on the boot lid, increased brand recognition, I suppose. So that's something if you don't know that this is the new Ford Escape. But up front, we've kind of got the new corporate design language, that trapezoidal grille. But for the Escape, I don't know, I can't place what I don't like about it. To me, it looks a bit like a guppy, just big mouth, wide eyes. But then also part of me thinks it looks a bit like the Porsche Macan, where we have the headlights sitting on top of the bonnet in a way, and then a very flat face with the grille taking up the majority of that space. Inside, though, is fantastic. You can see that a lot of resources have gone into freshening up this space, make it feel modern. We have so much standard equipment in the base level. Standard technology includes the Ford Co-Pilot Assist system. That is the blind spot monitoring, forward collision warning, and lane keeping assist. Depending on the trim level you go for, you either have an analog setup with a much smaller screen in the center, or when you get into the higher spec models, you'll have the 12.3-inch screen that we've seen in the new Mustang and the new Explorer. Great graphics, love the way it looks, and depending on the different driving modes, you'll see a total shift for the color scheme and the way information is laid out. Other safety systems like lane tracing assist, adaptive cruise control, and evasive steer assist are included in this titanium model. Some other comfort features that you can find throughout the range are a hands-free power tailgate, dual zone climate control, a plexiglass heads-up display, heated front seats, and a heated steering wheel. So Ford has made this car bigger in every dimension. It's longer, wider, yet the roofline is lower despite having more interior space in every single measurable way. It is overall a very impressive car. It feels more than just a car to me. It actually feels like something I would want to own, spend a lot of time in, and it's a very quiet space as well. That's something that we've really noticed on our drive today, is that it is so much more removed from the road and all the other intrusions that can come along with uneven pavement or just a windy day than what the previous generation of car ever was. So I think what I've been most impressed with during my time in this car You see in this video there's a lot of rolling hills, or at least I got some footage of it. The Escape always feels very level. It doesn't feel like it compresses going uphill, doesn't feel like it leaves the road going downhill. The suspension dampening and everything else that's going along to make this car feel very consistent, no matter the speed that we've been driving today and how it's handling the steepest of roads. Returning to the interior, I like being up front, especially in this model with the different colored plastics and the leather seats and the faux wood trim that we have across this titanium model. There's a few more harder plastics surrounding the cabin than I was expecting for this all-new vehicle, but all of the critical points of where you'll touch on the door cards, where you rest your elbows, all that kind of stuff feels very good. The second row comfort has a lot to talk about back there as well. The reps here at Ford were quite proud in saying that this new generation has more rear seat room than a Chevy Suburban. And here we have sliding second row seats, a first for the Escape. They can move forwards and backwards about 6 inches, so you can either prioritize rear seat space for your passengers or rear cargo space for all of your stuff. With the seats all the way back, I have plenty of space to sit behind myself, very little to concern myself with. You've got rear vents and an AC plug-in depending on which trim level you go for. If you want to check out the trunk space, there's a few things to point out. Grocery bag hangers, you have 2 levels to the loading floor. So here you see initially the seats have kind of that raised space, but when you lift it up, you see there's a space saver spare wheel underneath, and then from there you can take that floor and lift it up on top of that little ridge, and then you'll have a totally flat floor with the seat included. So we'll finish up this video with some of the manufacturer B-roll and the pricing structure for this new Escape. Prices are quite similar to the outgoing cars with a couple of nice surprises. So the starting price is $28,549 Canadian for the front-wheel drive S model with the 1.5 litre 3-cylinder engine. Then at the very top of the Escape lineup, the starting price for a fully loaded 2-litre titanium with all-wheel drive is $40,049. The all-wheel drive is available on all of the trim levels and with all of the different power plants. That upcharge will be $1,500 except for the 2-litre titanium model where all-wheel drive is the only drivetrain available. And so that wraps up everything I wanted to say with my brief time behind the wheel of the 2020 Ford Escape. I'm not going to place this car in my ranking system right now. I want to spend a proper week with it when I have it back at home and put it through all of my rigorous testing and my environment. But for the time being, I think this Ford Escape is the best version of this car yet. And it's something that when it comes along to the dealerships in a month's time, I think it's something that you should really take a look at. Thanks again for watching. If you wouldn't mind liking the video and sharing it to other people that might like it too, or if they're in the market to buy the new 4th generation Escape, that would be greatly appreciated. And of course, if you wouldn't mind subscribing as well, that does the world for me. Thanks again for watching.